Welcome back, adventurers, to another episode of Here's Guide to Gartha. I'm Nick.
And I'm Chili.
And why are you all the way? Hold on, wait. We're gonna. There you go. Now you're back where you belong. You're at the bottom tier with me, Kyle, Mark. Welcome everybody. This is we do this every once in a while. We just get together and we just just guys being dudes, just dudes being bros, and then just dudes being gay. I don't know if anybody gets that meme, but Anyway, I'm old. I feel like I'm old enough that I know most of the internet now. Anyway, welcome
My
everybody.
kids will get me there eventually.
Yeah, right. So welcome everybody. My camera's being dumb, so I'm gonna do this real quick. Don't worry about it. So this is, as everybody knows, we do this about once a set with this group at least. So Kyle, what would you describe
Twice
this
a
as?
set.
Twice. So I feel like you know what best to call this, because you're the one giving us most of our data.
We're doing just a quick rundown of look back at some of the snapshots of the competitive scene from over the season, and then also doing a little bit of how we feel the patches and how they've interacted with the competitive scene. Either both before and after patches, and also saying, not just our own ideas about them, but also why I'm right about most of them. Yeah.
Right, because we have to remember that, Kyle is right all the time when it comes to data, and Mark is just this silly little tinkerer. He has all the data, he has all the experience.
That's right. It's a hard cross to bear, but I'm here for it.
It's a cross I bear. So, Mark, how are you doing? How's your competitive season been?
It's been up and down a little bit. I've been a big fan of Atsari, of course, so I'm trying to get into preparation for the winter finals upcoming. Well,
I know
January,
you got an
February,
invitation.
somewhere there.
Look at that.
So
We've got a
so
celebrity
I'm
here
trying.
in the top echelon.
Yeah, so I'm trying Atsari, but I'm also thinking, if Atsari isn't the one for me to go with, what will it be? So I'm trying out some Kojo, trying out some Sigismar, just to get a feeling of those decks as well, but also to know how they are playing against me. So yeah,
that's
it's
fair.
going well.
Nice.
I actually really like that. To test to play in big tournaments, play your opponent's decks. So then you really know the lines in terms of understanding them rather than just seeing them.
Yeah. I find out turn-based games can be a thing. So I have been turn-basing my ass off the last month or so. Also face some chili.
Yeah,
it's great.
Getting destroyed. You're destroying me for sure.
Oh well, that's just rude. Why would you do that? I thought you guys were friends.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah. He's trying to undo guys. I'm trying everything to let him win, but it's not working.
Yeah, nothing's really working for me.
Look, I mean, if
Gio,
I was gonna say if the last couple games that we've played is any indicator, if he's playing a Chadi, yeah, you're gonna have a rough time against a Chadi.
Man, I struggle. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about my thoughts on the ramp and the double ramp. I honestly cannot stand it, but I understand it's part of the game. The only reason I can't stand it is there's nothing you can do about it. And my whole thing with any kind of game is you have to be able to engage every dynamic. And I'm hoping that they do something in the future. Thanks. We've already got some people on the chat as well. Yakes and Gio, congratulations. Welcome to the cast. You're free to add any of your comments as we're going through here. But I'm excited to get a chance. I wanted to wish everyone, though, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and very good celebration into the new year. Hopefully everyone's well. Marc, I'm glad to see you're up and about after a little bit of a health scare. So
yes.
On that end, we have been thinking of you.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, because believe it or not, we're friends. I don't know about you and Chili, but we're all friends here. So, so yeah, I as everybody knows, in these ones, I'm usually going to just be acting as moderator, while these three very intelligent human beings are going to be talking about the meta state of Altered. So if you don't hear me talking, it's because my head is empty and I am working on making sure that the data is ready for these wonderful commentators. So whoever just wants to just go for it, just get it started. I'm going to finish up some of this data, and then you guys, if you guys want to go ahead and just get ripping into the meta, go for it.
Yeah, I think Kyle, you can really start us off with what's happened in November and December in terms of the competitive scene. We can add some of our thoughts, Marc, especially you on the Bravos side. I think would be really useful, and maybe me on the. I was going to say Sigismar, but he's not the only hero in Ordis. But we'll start from that. Does that work for you, Kyle?
Absolutely, I'm happy to.
Fantastic.
You joke about Sigismar not being the only hero in Ordis, but effectively speaking, he has been
Yep.
for quite some time. And that's been true even through the last couple months. It's been funny because I always do breakdowns of faction and individual hero by stats, and Sigismar, as long as I've been tracking this data, has been almost all of the Ordis representation, basically since last February. Can't imagine why that would have changed at that point. But either way, we have, the last couple months have been a little bit quieter, but we've had a lot going on. Still plenty of people playing in these. Really, one thing I want to bring up as we're going into this, even before I really start talking about stats, is that we've seen a lot of diversity in style of play as well. Singleton events have been a big draw for a lot of people in the last couple months. And then also remembering that we've got the no uniques that have shown up as well, which also have a different style of play than what you typically see in standard constructed. So we've seen a lot more of those in the last few months, and that's great for the health of the game. I love seeing those different alternatives. But just to say, keep that in mind as we're talking about some of these stats, because it's going to affect a little bit of what we see out there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about hero distribution for the last couple months. It's no surprise the big two have been the same as they have been for quite a long time. Kojo and Sig are basically the heroes that people have continued to play, and that's been true since the start of Sky. I suspect it's going to be true for roughly 2 months more, maybe.
1 more month, at least.
Potentially, yeah. So either way, both of them have been playing at a rate that is much higher than anyone else, by a good 3 or 4% past any other hero. That's been true for a long time, but especially the last couple months, even coming off of Worlds. Between the two of them, they're usually only about 2 to 3. They're only about. I'm sorry, not 2 to 3, but usually about a percentage point apart, which I think is a lot of fun. That people just keep choosing it's one of these two guys. They're gonna do it. It's gonna be them. But then beyond that, it's usually we continue to see Fen, we continue to see Basira, we continue to see Traced as the next 3 in the top 5. People really have been pushing into those 3 as they're going to be what's coming next. They're really the heroes that competitive players seem to believe are the next strongest past these 2.
Okay, so let me just get this right. So we've got Fen from Lyra. We have Basira, also from Bravos. And who was the third? Was it Traced?
Traced, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. No one really pushing towards and we're now getting the stats come up. No one really pushing towards the easy heroes right now.
Not currently. Okay. In fact, since Aphanis took a stumble a while back, Akesh has been the top player, even as Moyo became available. Akesh has been the one that people go to, and even she is not. You've got the first place wins up there. The hero distribution is what we're talking about here. But even she isn't showing up until about 8th, 9th place so far. 9th in December. And she's even passed all of the Bravos heroes. All 4 Bravos heroes currently are doing better than anyone in Izmir.
I think it's quite insane. And
distribution.
And I saw the data that you'd sent us out beforehand. Basically, over 25% or approximately 25% of the meta is Bravos. that
Yeah.
distribution is basically Kojo followed by Basiro, followed by Achadi, followed then by Sol and Halua. But all of them being in the top 10 is absolutely ludicrous.
Bonkers.
When you see some other factions only have the one representation and very low end representation.
Yeah. Well, two things to that. One being remembering again as we add more heroes, the average number of the average percentage that's available to any one hero in like an even bar gets a little bit more diluted. So it is going to be easier for a lot of heroes to kind of slip a little bit lower than we would expect. So that's understandable. That you're going to see that in the data regardless. But then also, it's really interesting to me as I was doing that breakdown. If you take into consideration all of Bravos, you're saying about 25%, and you're right. It's generally about 25%, but it's actually gone up for the last about 4 months since Whispers came out. Bravos has kind of worked its way up a little bit more, and now it's sitting right at about the 28-29% of all play, all competitive play. Which is to say that I did this. I was just doing the breakdown for November a couple days ago, and then I'm working the one in Bravos or in December here. If you played any competitive event in the last 2 months, about 40% of the time you either played against a Bravos hero or Sigismar. Just those, like that block. And that's 40% of all competitive play right now.
40?
40 total.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. So
my
anyway,
God.
Just because you think about it, 25% for just say 25 to 30% for Bravos,
Yeah.
and then another 15% just for Sigismar.
pretty much. Yeah.
So
10%,
3 out of every
10-15%.
5 or no, 2 out of every 5 games.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, yeah, is one of those
Wow.
4 heroes. Or one of those 5 heroes.
But I'll
rather.
also say that isn't bad. Like it's okay.
No.
It's not as bad as some people think, because if you go back to season 1, you
Yeah.
almost
Okay,
were playing
that's
every
fair.
second
Yeah.
game against Waru,
Yeah.
and in some cases,
I-
all your games were against Waru.
I will say that a thing that I've mentioned in the breakdowns or in the snapshots for roughly four months or so now, if you really want to take down the competitive play, you got to aim for Bravos right now. If you want to build a deck that's going to hamstring a Bravos deck, that's your best shot at the moment to just
The
take a
different-
shot at the field.
I think that's difficult, Kyle, because you have 3 heroes that play completely different. Because
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Atsada, you want to go faster, just to make sure that they don't have the mana available to finally overcome their disadvantage. But Coach and Buddha is like the other fast thing, like Sigismar. But okay, I need to slow him down. So those things contradict each other a little bit. So it's
Oh,
hard
totally.
to say, well, focus on Bravos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's
but
an
the-
easy thing to do.
Yeah. Now, one
Yeah.
thing they do all have in common, though, is that they all play Tiny Jin and they all play the Hunger. Whether it's 3, 2, or 1, that's a different story. That's basically their breaking case of emergency for them. So therefore, you must prepare in one way or another. Now, I personally don't know what can actually beat the field, and by mean the field, I just mean Bravos or Sigismar, but may actually lose to everything else. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk about that. Marc, how are you doing, by the way? We haven't had a chance to say too much right now, but in preparation for this World Qualifier, what are your thoughts in terms of what's been shown here in terms of first place wins, as well as Kyle's already shared high level of the data?
I'm actually okay with the current state of the meta, because I like to prepare for certain decks and not all 18 of 24 heroes at the moment. So I'm okay that there are some top dogs there to make sure that, okay, those things I probably see a lot of the time, so I need to focus on those heroes to stop them. And I'm looking at Traced, Kojo, and Sigismar mainly. Of course, Basira as well, but yeah,
There you
those
go.
3,
I'm glad you brought in Basira. That's
yeah.
my. Now, and one other thing, sorry, just going back to one of the discussions that I just had earlier. Thank you, Gakes. Serengar and Spot are also very much in every one of these decks, and that's because it allows them to draw. So not only do they have the access to ramp if they want to, which most of them playing Tiny Jin will, they also can draw. So there's really very little downside to playing any of the any of the Bravos heroes, regardless of your style or your preference, whether it's the Halua or whether you're going for the quick play or the ramp play.
Yeah, I'd agree with that
Yeah.
too. Just to mention here, going back to the stats, as far as Bravos has gone over the last year, as Seringer showed up and as Spotter showed up, those two cards in particular I'll mention. Spotter I feel a little bit less so, but it is really strong. But those two cards in particular, if the main driver of Bravos has been a powerhouse since the start of the game. You get that ramp, you get that power fast, right? And then the problem is that you burn out of cards real fast. That used to be the theme of the faction generally, is that you burn out your resources so quickly. But you're getting those stats on the board, right? And right now, and I even as a Bravos, I hate saying this, but like right now, there is a weird confluence of, actually, not only am I able to burn through my stats, I am actually able to keep resupplying. I am able to keep drawing. It's been. If you look at Priya for all of that, like from Sky, for instance, super strong card, gets tough, gets that 5 stat line, and then also on top of all of that, in a turn she's going to get me an extra card, an extra half card as well on top of that.
But you forget the most important thing. You can run Spotter, do Priya, and also all your landmark uniques get turned on. I use Priya only for my landmark uniques because, I don't really want to run a lot of landmarks because that are dead cards. But Priya, if I make sure that I make progression, I get a landmark anyway. So why do I need 7 landmarks anymore? So it's great.
It's a great card.
It's so insanely good.
And just bring in a little bit of Yakes' voice from the discussion here. Absolutely, Bravos does have an identity crisis, but it's a good one for them to have because they can play anything and everything. Whatever style you want to play, you can do.
That's our new identity, guys.
Taking over everything. Well, if you go along the lore, they are the bad guys, sort of, to speak right now. So
how dare
there you go.
Marc's right though, in that one of the things you mentioned that it is surprising but difficult to play against, or it's surprising to see all of Bravos in the distribution like this, but it's difficult to build one deck that takes care of all of the Bravos heroes. Is it an actual problem that there's so much Bravos in the distribution? Because each of those heroes does play significantly differently. Like you are still seeing a diversity of play, even if everyone from Bravos is in the mix.
That's right. And right now we've got the hero rankings for the season up as well. Sorry, Marc, before you get in there, I'll actually say, despite this discussion on Bravos being overpowered right now alongside Sigismar, it's actually good to see a representation at the very top of the field to be more than just 1 or 2 characters. Now, I know you spoke about Sigismar and Kojo being the 1 and 2, but I would also say 3, 4, and 5 are pretty close. In terms
I'm going to bring up a point
That's
here,
my
though.
personal preference. Go ahead, Nick.
So, Joel, so he brings up this point, right? The problem is that with this point, right, with Aurak is such...
Oh, this is Geo. This is Geo.
Yeah. So, I have finally figured it out. And you guys have been hearing me harp on this. Like, if you've been listening to the podcast, if you know anything about me, I have finally figured out the formula for Aurak, right? The problem is, though, is that it requires such a specific setup. And it's not it's not even a hard setup to get, right? But it takes a specific kind of unique that has a specific kind of ability, right? And because of that, nobody wants to like go all in on an Aurak deck that I'm not going to lie. When it hits and when it gets on the field and it hits, there's no way to stop it. You think Trace is bad? Wait up until you find up God Aurak decks suck.
Yeah, this is the unlimited resupply.
There's nothing you can do against an Aurak deck that is online. Like Trace has nothing. But the problem is that it's so specific. Like, you have to have the specific uniques. They have to be cheap enough. And ideally, you have to have enough just luck. Which, I mean, but that's Lyra. And that's why nobody wants to play it, is because it's a Lyra luck deck. Even if it is like one of the most top tier decks that I've ever seen, it's a luck deck. Nobody wants to put luck into a competitive scene.
Yeah.
That's right. You want as much consistency as possible. Kyle,
Yeah.
just bring it back a little bit here. So in terms of the most played cards and for the current set, so for current season, which is in Skybound Odyssey, what did you find in terms of the analysis that came up? Because I think that's pretty interesting to see. Is there anything that was surprising?
We've had a couple small changes, and I've been tracking. If you look back at the snapshots over the last few months, but I pulled together the one right at the start of Sky, and I was really interested that really only a couple factions embraced their Sky cards to a strong degree. One of those being effectively Sigismar, which he got a couple options there to pull from. Just to run down them really quickly, we saw a couple really interesting ideas. There's been a shift, of course, across Axiom, which has actually again, Axiom's sort of my backup, my second faction that I go to. Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. They've had an interesting situation going on where Traced is, like, far and away the Axiom hero at the moment. However, Sierra's really seen a big pickup since the start of Sky, thanks to primarily Abandoned Depot and one or two other cards. But she's really gotten a lot more tools to work with, which is to say, what used to be the Traced situation with Axiom, where the only cards that would show up in the top cards were Trace cards, and that's it. We also are starting to see ones that anything that Sierra is going to care about as well. Which, I mean, Dr. Frankenstein, sure, Traced has a real connection to that, but Sierra is also going to look at that and say, yeah, absolutely, I want that in my deck. We've seen a little bit of change, only that the kill on Elemental has bumped up a little bit. Which I typically see. We talked a little bit about this before the cast, but I typically see that down in like 4th or 5th place. It's not typically in the top 3, but it's interesting to see it up there. Marc, you had said that there was that's probably a line to Traced or not to Traced, making some progress again.
Yeah, I think Traced is early game. You want to get your counters going. Getting a card from hand to reserve and play it from reserve, you get a counter. Well, profit. If that card is also happen to be a salvager, you're also resupplying. So next turn, you're also making profit. So that card is amazing. A little bit more, it's a 2-stat, a 2-mana 1/3/3. So it's also a little bit above par stats-wise if you are in the right regions. And late game, sometimes you have like, you're playing your hero ability, getting one card from hand to reserve, play that card out, and your reserve is empty. Then Traced is not that strong. So having a Killer Elemental, again, you play it from hand, put something else from hand in reserve, you can play something else from reserve, like a Frankenstein or something else, or a Gramps, to make sure that you can do. So I think Killer Elemental is a, sure 3 of in every Traced build at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this out loud for everybody to hear.
Oh no.
Traced sucks. I hate Traced more than any other deck on this planet. I don't care that it is one of the best meta decks that exists in the format right now. Traced can die in a hole, as far as I'm concerned. I'm
sure we'll talk about Traced.
I hate a good Trace deck so much.
But you know what?
There's-
One thing I've noticed in the meta recently as well, as we're going through here, I know we're going to look through the other 5 factions, is while people play Traced, I'm starting to see Isri. It's really good. It's not getting the amount of play, but it can be strong. The same thing to see a lot more people get back into playing Sierra. I think that's really good. Now, Subash, it's a different story. Right, they're a very different story in terms of there's no real identity by which they can play the way they want to, without additional cards available to them. So there may be some things that we can look into the future in terms of fixing it up.
Yeah.
I want to make a note about these Axiom cards before we move on. 2 of these are on the watch list currently.
Yes.
Weird.
Yes. Finally.
I will say, well, no, we'll get to it when we talk about the actual patch. However, oh shoot, I think one of them is only the rare. I think it's the Grams, if I'm remembering.
No,
One of
Dr.
them's only the
Frankenstein
rare.
is the rare, and the Grams
Yeah.
is the
Oh,
complete
you're right.
package, including the Bravos one, which
Yeah,
sees no
yeah, of
play.
course.
But with the new upcoming set, you might see play. So, I've been whining about Dr. Frankenstein, and Yikes know this. I think end of set 1. As soon as the trace decks were everywhere, I was like, "Oh, this card needs to go. Please let it go." So, if you watch, I think one of our first meta analyst videos we did, I also said Frankenstein needs to go, and finally they see it as well, because things like the removal, you can resupply, you can do so many things with that card alone, and it can always be
It's
in your
incredibly
hand, going to the
versatile.
reserve. It's
And it's got a good
And it's too
stockpile
cheap.
on top of that, which is
yes.
Yeah, it's dirt cheap.
And you can
Yeah.
also now with the restocking station just continue looping them over and over them again, and like,
Yeah.
please die again, please
the
die.
restocking station. We need to talk about that when we get to the patch.
Dude, do not even talk to me about restocking. I cannot. Oh my god. But hold
The
on, I
rest
want to
of
bring
this-
up this
this-
point real quick.
Yeah,
Of anybody else in this entire community. First off, let's just say this community, great community. The people who you know who you are. Everybody, this community is great. The outliers, you know who you are. Marc and Rune are like encyclopedias of this game. It is wild. You guys ingest information and then just keep it in your brain forever, from what it seems like. And so I'm like, Marc always impresses me so much because he's just like, no, it's this, you dumb idiot. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I got
I'm
the
so
information
sorry.
wrong.
I don't want to make you feel dumb.
No. But you're just you're so on point with the information all the time at the drop of a hat. I'm just like, dang it. Oh, I wish
No, I love this
wanna be
game
Marc
so
when I
much.
grow up.
yeah.
So, Marc, can I ask on that one, as we transition to Bravos, how many
Yeah.
games do you play a day online?
Maybe 4, 5. Depends on how many.
I
turns
would
you
that's a
expect
lot
to go.
lower. That's not many. That's
I
not
was
many.
expecting like
yeah,
30.
that's a lot lower.
Oh no,
Yeah, I
no.
was expecting. Yeah, I with the new format, I'm out my adventure pass every day.
No,
So-
I'm not sure I would get there, but still a little bit about the grams. I want to talk about that card as well.
Yeah, please.
I think the common version is too powerful. If the common version was the rare, or the rare was the only version where you could choose between sacrificing something and destroying something, I think it would be great. Because at the moment, the common is like a 3-off in every deck. Also for sub-hash, you put it in and you have no regret or something, no choice. And the thing is, if you can be so versatile because you can, well, destroy your own thing you don't need, maybe even sabotage something, well, or resupplying something if you get the rare reef or something. And also restocking station, you can make it go back again. Also with the bug out bag, well, bug out has fleeting. Well, let's put it there, destroy it somewhere. We don't mind, and we have a 2-mana 3/4/4. It's really too good.
It's funny because
I-
if you go back a couple of sets, people were complaining that there wasn't enough removal. And this card really changed the game for Axiom, but it's changed
Axiom
it
didn't
so
need the
much.
removal.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Grams
Axiom
was holding
needed
whole
something
archetypes back.
easy.
That's true. I guess this is my point, is that there was a point in the game where the only real issue that you needed to look out for was in Bravos and in Lyra or Muna if you were playing Lyra Festival, right? Those are the only permanents that you were these are legitimate problems, right? If a monolith comes out, it's probably coming out late enough that you don't care enough about it, right? If, that kind of stuff. Now it's gotten to the point where if you don't have permanent removal in some way in every deck, you're probably going to end up getting screwed.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because now Katagir, after 4 sets, is actually seeing good competitive play in Moyo. And I'm not saying that just because I'm hopeful about it. I've been wrecked to pieces by a Moyo deck playing a Katagir and then just double pounding a Winter Nova. It sucks.
well,
It's
Ma-
wild.
Mark knows this.
Yeah, it's crazy. You have like, and the stupidest part is that it's not even Brassbug Hive anymore. It's Restocking Station. It's all these other lower cost landmarks in Axiom. Bravos now has Parliament of Ashes, which is one of the best landmarks that's ever come out, in my opinion.
For its
Ortis
cost,
has
absolutely.
Messick Tet. Muna, I mean, well, Muna's always getting shafted, kind of. So I feel like Muna's like the weird, like nobody, I don't know. Muna's fine.
They have Festival. So,
I mean, that's
in the
true.
Bastion, they're
They
great.
have one dangerous landmark. You're right.
Yeah. And then Lyra is Lyra. So you never know what you're going to get with Lyra. Like everything in Lyra is kind of just weird.
They got two that are pretty good. They've got the
Yeah.
festival, and they've got the one that if you reveal a spell, you get to draw.
Oh, come on, Mark, help me out here. You're the encyclopedia.
What did you say, Chili?
The
which
one? The
Is it
the
is it
one that
Opera
lets
House?
you
Oh, the Opera House.
Reveal a card. Yeah, it's a
Oh,
reveal
yes.
a card, and if it's a spell, you get to draw it.
Oh, that's such a strong card, the Opera House. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so yeah.
To-
So I feel
just
like
to
it's
mention-
so interesting that like every deck now, if you don't have permanent removal, you're gonna have a much harder time with it.
Yeah.
And
Right,
then we
in
go
the
back
interest
to
of time,
why everyone
Kyle,
is running the
should we-
hunger.
Yeah,
Shall we
everybody
move-
just run the
Yeah.
hunger. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shall-
I'm just
shall
gonna
we
move to
to
Bravos.
Yes.
Just to mention, talking about the Opera House very briefly, that is the top Sky rare for Axiom. Ultimate.
Really
Oh.
Yes.
interesting.
But it doesn't even show up until like 8th or 9th place. It's not high
Yeah.
up, but it is
It's
the top
more for
Sky
Sierra,
rare for
right?
Axiom. Yeah.
It's more played in Sierra than any others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you can play it everywhere. It's so good. So good.
Yeah.
Sincerely,
Yeah.
Subhash also wants that heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but-
Like that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Subash is 0.001% of the meta. You're absolutely right.
Listen, they really want that card. They just need one more card in their hands. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on.
That's true. That is true.
Bravos, what can I say except one card is different here compared to the last 3 months. The top 3 comments have not changed since the release of Whispers.
Yeah.
Just flat out, they have changed position once or twice, but they have not changed. And then the rares, Tiny Jin has been the top since I've started collecting this data. The hunger pushed out Mighty Jins, which I think is kind of funny in its way. Of like, actually, I don't need you. I just need to destroy the board. And then Colorful Cuckoo is the new one. That's the only one that has been. Yeah. This is their first time on in the top 3.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
It's a brilliant card.
It's a great card. Yeah,
But-
this is no surprise.
But I think very specifically, Basira interacts with it better than most everyone else in Bravos. And
I mean,
she's
and
been
looking at the
ascendant.
data, Basira was at the top for
That's
December, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I'd also say if you're playing Kojo, this is a and you're going first. This is great, great to be able
Yeah.
to play because you're going to put stats on both sides because you've got your Buddha token out.
Right.
You're not taking a turn off by playing it, even though it's understated, just the 1/1/1. It's very very useful.
yeah, I agree with that. All true facts.
Yeah, it's just interesting that, especially as Basira has moved up, seeing that in there. Yeah, of course, those connect beautifully.
Yeah.
What can I say about Bravos? They've had these cards have been set basically for months and months and months at this point. And an interesting thing to mention, as we've covered this for the last couple months, we've talked about the fact that when I see this kind of calcification at the top of the top cards played, it's less about a particular hero, but more saying like these cards work for everyone in this faction, right? Especially when you see the diversity within the distribution itself. They're strong cards. What can I say? These are all really good choices.
Here's a question.
You'd be silly not to play Tiny Jin or the Hunger. You'd be very silly.
Here's a question, because I know Mark has been playing a lot of Achati, and this is and for anybody who's watching as well, please, I will, like, if you have an answer for this, I want to know because I will show it on stream. How often are you not drawing a Hunger in a full game with Achati?
Never.
Never.
which is insane to me that you say that
Yeah.
because it just happened to me. I'm not even kidding. I played a game yesterday. I had 10 cards left in the deck. I was at 15 mana, and I looked through my entire discard and my entire mana stack, and there was not a single hunger.
Wow.
And I
Okay,
lost
maybe
because of that.
as a small thing. I say never, but I run double ramp cards, and sometimes all your hungers go to mana.
That's the
And
thing.
that was
I checked.
an active problem I had. So that's why
Yeah.
I run a lot more big stuff at the moment, because I have those double ramps.
But it's crazy because I checked. I checked my mana pool and I checked my discard. 0, 0, and I run 3. I run
Yeah,
3
someone
of
must
them.
have gone
That
through your
means that
deck and
all
removed them.
3 were in the bottom 10 cards. I was drawing like a madman. I was drawing and
Yes.
ramping like a madman, and not a single hunger. So I'm genuinely curious that has ever happened to anybody, because I think the odds of that happening are incredibly low and incredibly stupid. I think genuinely they were like the last 3 cards of the deck just stacked
Yeah.
up on each other.
Yeah, sometimes that's a problem with that study. The thing is, I'm really glad they don't put the hunger on the watch list, because I don't think the hunger is the problem. I run a lot of Atsari, and that card is just needed to finish out the games. Otherwise, you cannot win with Atsari. So I'm glad they see that, and they say, well, the hunger
Yeah.
is not a problem to be removed. The problem is the Tiny Jin rare. That card is
Yeah,
so
and-
insanely strong. And the thing is, it's the mana. 1/2 mana. You can, with cards like Rage or Milk or something with that, you can put it straight into the mana. But Zirek gives it another boost directly. So it's a 2 for 2 for 2 or for 1 sometimes. That card is so insanely strong. Also, with the other, the Syringar is like, okay, I put a Tiny Jin and a Syringar, and we'll probably go 2/1, 2/0 or something, because well, the 1 mana 2 mountain is really great, and the 3 forests of Syringa is really great.
It's
If you don't
astonishingly
boost
good.
the Tiny Jin, no worries, because they're both 2 mana and 2 mana, and you go, well, I play the Tiny Jin first, I will probably ramp, and I will play the Syringar, so I have now like 3 cards still in hand, and I play 2 cards twice. I'm going into the next day with one additional card and 1 ramp, so I'm at 6. So I've got more cards, I got more mana. What are you gonna do? And that's the problem of Bravos at the moment.
That's
I
right.
completely
And Nick and
agree.
I actually did a video on the hunger, what to do with the hunger, actually. And on that, to be honest, the majority of the issue is not the hunger, it's the ramp. The
Yeah.
easy, cheap
It
ramp.
is.
So
I
for those
s-
have a
I-
chance to look into that, that makes sense. Kyle.
I agree with you, but I still think that it should be the common version of Hunger from Izmir in Bravos. That's my personal opinion. I don't have data or anything to back it up, but that is my personal opinion. I think that Bravos should have gotten the common version from Izmir without the fleeting gigantic, because Izmir has a lot harder time getting fleeting on a card. Bravos can do it in its sleep, and that's I
Yeah.
think that's a problem.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I-
with Rare Rage running around also in Izmir, that
Oh,
card's a
true.
little bit underestimated yet, I think, because Izmir is not played a lot, but Rage is a killer card also in
Yep.
Izmir.
Rage is good.
I think if the hunger in Bravos would get to 9 mana, it would be almost unplayable for Kojong Bazira and for Soul that
Yeah.
matter. And it's a little bit harder for Atsari. But I think if you remove Tiny Jin
But
from,
would that be
from
a
the
bad thing?
spectrum,
Yeah, I would
No.
love to get us to a point where Kojo and Basira, if they get it, like you have a one-off in your deck, and like this is my my slam the red button. I got to try it, rather than saying this is my plan for the end game. I want
Yeah.
it to feel risky for anyone who's not a Chani, essentially.
yeah. And the other problem Bravos has, is more a luxury, is that we now see the top 3 commons, but they also have Tango probably running wild. We have
Yeah.
Ishimboshi in a ton of decks. We have Duel of Grid, Mana Eruption. We have Bouncer, sometimes Spotter, but that's probably the rare. Rage. You have so many good common cards. Mighty Jin. They are in every deck possible. So, and that is also really strong on Bravos at the moment. That's why they are so. Everyone runs the same cards because they're
Yeah.
that strong.
Yeah.
at common
Especially if
level.
you're playing
Yeah,
my
and
Oops All
all
Gyms
of them
deck.
are above rate for their cost, and they're all very low cost. That gives
Yeah.
you some additional benefit of
Exactly.
one kind or another. So,
Swift Gin is the
Mark,
most
what
expensive.
about Lyra? What happens in Lyra, guys?
Well, yeah. Just you swap the slide over to Lyra. But Mark, you literally just read down the top 10 cards in commons in Bravos. Like you just
Look at
ran
that.
down. Anyway, okay, moving
How
on. To
does
Lyra.
he do it?
Yeah, does his research for sure.
Lyra, again, a very funny thing that keeps happening with Lyra for the last like 6 months. Hathor and Martingale basically swap places every month for fun, I guess. But they are there. No big deal. It's been very funny to watch. Almost nothing has changed otherwise for commons for Lyra since Trial by Frost. And they've just that's it. Magical training bumped up to the top place, I think. Yes, for rares, Inkcaster and Aloe Vera. An interesting thing is that Aloe Vera dropped. It used to be the top Lyra rare for a little while, but it has since dropped since the release of Sky. It dropped to second place and then dropped to third. And so we're seeing Magical Training bump back up, and we're seeing Inkcaster come back. And I have to imagine that's because we're seeing a lot more play of things to your reserve, which Lyra either has to bounce things back, and now they don't need the resupply because so many other things. Hey, we've got aeroliths, we've got other ways. I
The
can't
Oprahs
or I have to
is
imagine.
also the Oprahs is uncommon, and you can draw spells, and if you
Yes.
put the rare, you can put permanents in the reserve as well. That card is really great as well. And
Yeah.
so that's one of the reasons people don't run the Vera anymore, because you have just a permanent that can do it every turn, and it's for 2. It's common. Why would you run a rare?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's also
And
an element of the festival getting a lot more prevalence. And because of that, you really want your cheap cards and your magical training to give you the cards in hand to be able to get that in. The Aloe Vera doesn't really serve that purpose because you're paying 4 resources to get something out, where you're more than happy just to go low to the ground and have more of the cards that have the quick ability of reducing cost of other cards.
Absolutely true. Yeah. A guy trying, you mentioned, I see in your comments there, the magical training over Inkcaster. I want to be very clear. I'm looking at the numbers right now. It's a difference of 5 entries total. So they're basically tied.
Yeah, you have to have both together. The difference is if you don't have an Ouroboros Inkcaster and you do have a Hathor, you can still return it, right? So magical training makes sense being number 1.
Yeah, I think an Inkcaster without training doesn't make sense, but a training without an Inkcaster can. So
yes.
Yeah, I feel like
because you have
right.
some LW also runs some decks that don't have an Inkcaster but still have the training, because the draw for 1, the FTU is still insane.
Martingale to
one
me is
thing-
still surprising. Sorry, I was going to say, Kyle. Martingale to me is surprising because it's really only used for its quick ability. Like in most of the Lyra decks, I do know that you can get the additional +1 on a dice roll, but you're not seeing that become prevalent. Now, I hope there comes a day where we're getting a lot more representation from the other Lyra heroes that is not Fen and Crowbar, because they're fun. They really are fun.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing the Martingale being used for its major effect. It's more for the discount factor after the fact.
Yeah, I think if you run an
and after
Navenka,
you.
where
And after
Martingale
you.
is still needed. Yeah.
Absolutely, but Navenka's really not up in terms of the meta right now. I hope it does become, because I think they can be strong, but there's a lot of chance, and that's where, from a competitive perspective, are you willing to run the chance of losing a card?
Yeah.
Martingale stops you from that, but nothing else does.
Yeah. I also saw that in Seeds of Unity, we get, support abilities that are like Martingales, but you cannot reduce things lower than 1. So you cannot have 3 actions anymore, which is a great thing, I think. So that hopefully they might also be getting a little bit of retroactive on the Martingales and on the other stuff that reduce things. Just cards cannot cost less than 1. That is still a great thing, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I
It's
wanna
kind
know-
of like it's in my brain. It's the same vein as what's the word? Tutoring.
Yes.
Mm.
You can't have stuff that costs 0, and you can't tutor. And
Yeah.
I kind of like all of that because that's what the free abilities are for, right? That's kind of the whole point
the
of
quick
those.
abilities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
So-
thing is,
No,
I was
there's
playing. I
some
think
smart
I
designs
played
in this game,
usually.
absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, go for it.
ahead.
I think I played usually with my Fan Festival deck. It's like, well, I just discard my Martingale. I play a Slate of Hand for free. Then I'm putting something back in my reserve that can do something as well. I remove that one. I will play something else for only one. And you're like, well, I play three. I'm out of mana. I'm like, okay, then I will Festival combo you, and there's nothing you can do with that. So
Yeah.
that's why I think
Yeah,
playing things less than
and the
one
turn before
is
you
not
play
ideal.
the one that is a Woolly Field. What's the one that you play to have some things sleeping?
A
So you can
counting sheep.
Oh, counting sheep with
counting
Gavroche.
sheep, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
So good.
yes, and I also have one mana that gives
Yes.
everything fleeting. That's also very strong.
Mm.
Which is why I find it hard to play against Mark. He's spent a lot of money or been very lucky on the draws on the pulls.
Yeah, I bought this for 25 somewhere.
That's not bad. That's not bad at
Nice.
all.
Yes.
I want
All
to
right,
point out just very
go ahead.
briefly. Oh yeah, you'll notice here there are no sky cards. Not to say that that's a failing on the set's part. Just to mention that among the top played cards right now for Lyra, there aren't any in there. I want to mention that Lyra Signet is the top played common. That ranked at about 5th place, so it is close to the top 3. It's an astonishingly good card.
Yeah.
Especially
That design is so great because it worked
It's
with
so
the Vanguard
versatile,
stuff
and you're
because you
always
can
gonna
roll a
bring it
die.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Dude.
clever.
I have an Ivanka deck that I've been playing with a friend right now, so we built it together. And I'm not going to lie. The amount of times that people have just given up because every time you roll a die, I have a Lakshmi that gains 2 boosts.
Yeah.
It's stupid the amount of dice that I'm rolling in that game. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Because that's the good part about,
Yeah.
like, even if you're playing the common Lyra Sig, like, you don't even really care about the resupply. You care about the dice roll,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which, that's, like, kind of the funniest thing. Like, you have a Martingale, so it doesn't really matter because you can't get a 1 no matter what you do. So all you care about at that point is just whatever you're rolling. Like, you care about the dice, and that's it. You don't care about the result. I mean, the result is fun. Like, if I can anchor that Lakshmi, your day's over. It's done.
I'll say on in terms of like that card is probably one of the most versatile cards that fits into all things the faction wants to do together. So you have the Anansi effect if you need it. So if you've got lots of cards in your reserve, you can play that out. You can then return it back to hand. If you have the Hathor in your reserve, play it out again, right? All this crazy stuff you can do. One thing of note as we're moving to Muna is have a look at how many of the cards that are sitting in the top that are from set 1, from Beyond the Gates. We know that Equinox has also told us that in the near future, and my hypothesis on that would be for set 8, which is in 1 year's time, so 3 more sets coming live, we are going to lose Beyond the Gates. And that is going to be a massive meta shift in and of itself. If they do it earlier, I don't mind as well, as long as there's enough cards available. But there are some heroes that rely 80% of their deck being from set 1 because there's nothing strong for them. And maybe that is the meta shakeup we need. But you look at it, most things outside of Bravos has everything from set 1 basically becoming 80% of your top 10 cards.
Yeah. There are 2 points I'm going to bring up to that, right? I think Muna genuinely just has been getting shafted set after set after set, right? Like, there are good cards. Don't get me wrong. There are great cards that exist within the set, right?
They were strong in set 1. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Very, very strong open.
Yeah, Taya. But the problem is
Just
that I
Taya.
feel like they've diversified too much now. Like, I feel like there are too many options, and so people just don't really know what to do with Muna. And because, like, you know, I genuinely, every single, like, group hug is fun now. It's a fun thing to play against, but it's not necessarily, like, and it has a lot of good synergies, but it's not necessarily competitive.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good deck, but I mean, so I'll give you the example. One of our friends, who I think has helped on the Nuke streams, he has a group hug deck, and it's really good. His Grand Bois have gotten to 12, which is insane to me. It's stupid the amount of synergy that he has in that deck. But for some reason, one reason or another, he just loses out.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's won maybe
yeah.
1 or 2 games with that deck in like 6 months.
Well, he's beat me for a championship in the weekly. So,
Oh, well, then there you go.
One thing, my thoughts with Muna is, like, the set one had an overall reliance on plants, right? Anchoring plants, and there was this synergy there. But the other, and that was mostly with Taya. The rest of the heroes really were Taya light, unless you went for festival builds. But I do think the change by bringing Cowrie in and having these Woollyback tokens has started to change the identity. Now you have almost 2 paths to go outside of the festival, and I think that's good. And I believe that's why you're seeing Persephone here very strong in terms of its ability to be up there, because Persephone does help you a ton to be able to just play a single card for 2 cost and basically win a side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I want to just very briefly, before we move deep into Muna here, the top Sky Lyra card, or Lyra rare, is the Parliament of Ashes, which is just what we were talking about earlier. Again, pretty deep into the numbers, but it is there. But I just to bring that there. But we've got Muna here. I would love to say things have changed heavily. We do have an interesting change, though, in the rares. I think it's funny, one, that Aloe Vera continues to be first place here. It has not changed in quite some time. But whereas Lyra is like, oh, actually, I don't need all these cards. Thanks, guys. Moon is over here like, yeah, please, I need just one more card, please. Just anything you can give me, I'll take it.
Anything to give you card draw or resupply. That's still
Like,
very light for Muna.
Like, I do not care what I have to put into this. I just need one more card, and that's Muna right now to me. I mean, Muna is at the stage where a hero who literally gives the opponent stats just so you can get cards. Everyone's like, yes, let's do it. Yeah, I'll give him a sheep. I don't care. I just give me one more card. I'm begging you. Muna continues to have this issue, and I mentioned here, Floral Tent, Aloe Vera, Spindle Harvesters, all 3 of those draw cards or resupply. In November, one of the card that moved out of the place for Persephone also resupplied. And it's just so funny to me that Muna's just over here just begging for draw, really fighting for it as best they can. Nick, to your point of talking about how group hug is fun to play, I agree with you. I think it's great. However, I think that the group hug style of play, or the approach here, you simply do not get back enough for what you are giving the opponent almost ever. And because removal is so
until
strong,
next set.
And because removal is so strong and altered, great. Eru can go out and I anchored you. Great. So I get anchored too. Except I'm just my Ortis opponent is just going to remove that Eru this turn. So I guess I just anchored a character for you and I got nothing for it. It's just rough. And it
is rough.
Yeah. And great, Cowrie's intervention is strong and out there, but I mean, the common is useless in Muna, unless you are running high level or high rank or high cost cards. Which how are you going to do that in Muna and survive? And then the rare Muna's rares are jam packed. No matter which hero you play, you need every single rare slot. You cannot give 3 slots to Cowrie's intervention to stay alive.
I think Cowrie intervention is so good also in Muna. The big problem you have, you don't draw cards. So if you're drawing late game an intervention, you have an intervention without cards to actually intervene.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So that's one of the big things and big problems you have with that card over something like a Floral Tent, which also gives you protection, but also is resupplying, and it's only also 1 mana. I think the common full tent is overall great protection, resupplying. The druid and the caregiver are specifically there for the re-anchor stuff. And we see, Kyle, in your data, we see that the rise of Rin is here. So people aren't playing Tasia anymore, but a lot of Rin, and that's why Persephone is, of course, shining. Persephone and Rin specific can run festival builds that can surprise people, but can also be really, really aggro-y. And those decks those things can beat Bravos quite easily. So sure, you have the Syringas and stuff, but we also have, like with Rin, things that care about High Forest. So I think that's one of the reasons that the Persephones are now here.
Yeah.
Now I'll say these, bringing 2 comments from the chat in. Marv, absolutely. The ever-present hope of the future with Muna is that the next character that comes out, the next set that comes out, is going to give us something fun. Now, I do believe, looking at what's in store with Seeds of Unity, Seeds of
Agony. Wow.
I know, right? Seeds of Unity. I do think the new hero is going to be fun to play,
flip.
but will it be viable? It's still up for grabs in terms of what other cards are going to be there for support. But coming from a guy trying, using in 2v2, which we don't get a chance to play very much, 2v2 is actually really, really fun. And playing that support role, I think that Muna character can actually help on there, but it is not the competitive scene. Right? That's the harshness of it.
I agree with both of
I
those
think
points.
she's almost there. Corey. I've seen some Corey lists that I had really trouble beating, also with charge and stuff, and I think they're almost there. But
I love when Marc his humble brag. I had trouble beating them, but I still won. His humble brag's coming out.
I run hunger, guys. I run the hunger.
I run the hunger.
But you're saying the exact problem that Muna continues to run into is that okay, so let's say the new approach for Muna is I'm just going to throw a bunch of sheep on the field. Great. Hunger still doesn't care about that. Like, that's not going to, like, you're not going to get past Hunger using that.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because the Hunger won't get the boost from the additional, right?
Totally,
it doesn't get the boost from a token.
But Muna also doesn't have the draw to say, like, let's take care of the Hunger. Okay, I can both remove Hunger and then also go over it or take the other side from it.
Probably the other way of looking at it, they also don't have the removal. The very strong removal, the cheap removal that other factions could have when they're trying to deal with a very difficult card or an expensive card.
Yeah.
What a great bridge. Cheap removal. Ordis, we're here.
Let's go to Ordis.
Let's talk about cheap removal.
Hey, y'all.
God, why is
Sandman
on that list?
Because it's back. It took... I want to mention very, very briefly, because I have to say this, it's so rare that this happens. For 1 month in November, Licensed Withdrawal moved on to 2nd place among the top commons. It was only under by about 3 representations or 3 slots on deck lists to the Aegis Templar. This month, Order has been returned to the world.
All is right in the world.
Is the top card. Yeah. What do I say? Not only has the Ordis lineup literally not changed since the start of Whispers. I stand corrected. The rares, the Sandman and Jack Frost swap every month. Those two take the 3rd spot every month, basically. But beyond that, you're looking at what the game plan has been for Sigismar and Ordis generally since Whispers released. Sky has had almost no impact on the top cards for Ordis. However, you'll be happy to hear that, of course, their top one of their top Sky cards is Soar, a ridiculously powerful 1-cost spell.
What a good card, man.
That Sig can use better than almost anyone.
Yes.
Yeah. This is my issue with some of the cards that are coming out, in that there's no limit to make them difficult to use in the meta hero, where they should actually be easier to use and better to use in the other heroes that they're meant to actually support more. But I'll see Sigismar is so vanilla in terms of how easy it is for them to do anything that it's very difficult to make a card that doesn't allow Sigismar to shine. not
I
impossible.
want to mention, speaking of Sora, though, sorry, yeah, to go back to that, you're absolutely right, Julie. Speaking of Sora, though, I forgot to mention this earlier. For December and actually for November, the highest ranking Muna rare from Sky is Soar, an Ortis spell, which I think is hilarious. Like Muna's Sky rares, they're like, yeah, great, these are great, but also, can we have this Ortis thing, please? Yes, I'll take that thing.
Yeah.
That's
on
exactly
the topic
the
of
thing why
Ortis,
Rin is now so popular, because you have
Oh,
the
yeah.
Syringars, have 3 forests. Your things have 3 forests. Oh, let me put the sword. Now I have ascended expedition. I will go over you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly the thing that Rin are doing now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
the one
matter
thing
then
that's
because I'll advance on forest and I get that extra card. Who cares if I'm burning sword to get to that? That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
here's the
Now, one thing I'm surprised is Ortis Attorney. I started to see
that's what I was
because of
gonna
the
say.
Soul mechanic. Yeah. Oh, go ahead then, Nick. You can go. You can go through.
No. Like that's one of the cards that I was genuinely surprised to see because, like, don't get me wrong, Attorney is fun, but let's bring this up for a second. So Ortis Attorney, when my expedition fails to move forward during Dust Draw card, that's a goal ring card. I don't care what anybody says. That's a goal ring card, and seeing it in the first place.
Can I pull
just
this
because
out
it's
just
hard?
for
I will ask you a
slightly-
question, Nick. I have a recruit on day 1. Now I'm a starting player. I play an Orders Trooper next to my recruit. Where are you going to play your card? At the Companion Expedition.
I mean, that's
Where
oh,
will
okay,
I
but
put
that's
my
fair. This
Orders
is under
Attorney?
the Sigismar.
You
That's
draw a card.
okay. Yeah, that's fine. That is
Yeah,
under the
it's-
Sigismar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, makes sense.
The Ortis Attorney is
It
a
should
threat.
it should be
is
a,
what it
yeah,
is.
absolutely. It should be a worry card. The reason why I'm saying I'm surprised is with the whole dynamic of ascending, it goes contrary to that, and I'm starting to see a lot more of the Sigismar builds have ascend be central to their way of working, their winning.
Yeah, totally.
And this counteracts it. But if you don't have an ascend, this is fantastic. Like it's
I
absolutely.
will tell you
your
exactly why
opponent
this card is
will
so
give
strong.
yeah, they will give you the win rather than let you draw a card.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. You will all get an expedition, and that's the name of the game. So you're running fast, so you're getting close together. So you need to stop me, and if you stop me, I'm getting another card, and I'm desperate for card draw. So Attorney is so good in Sigismar for the game plan. So you're either stop me and I get a card, or you don't stop me and I get an expedition, which is ultimately what I'm looking for. Attorney is the best card.
And
Yeah.
Sig is so good at continuing pressure and just keeping that pressure up that losing that one expedition, like, yeah, sure, I'll give that expedition up, give me an extra card for it. Like that's what the price is.
See, I forget that Marc is playing Altered and like 4D chess at the same time. I'm not thinking that far ahead. And plus, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Sigismar was my hero when I started, right? I bought the Sigismar deck and then just changed that out with an Athena that my original Athena that I pulled, and just played that deck. I have not played Sigismar since set 1. I'm not even kidding.
Now, there's some fun comments coming in from the side as well. Yakes, Marv, as well as Crazed Ape. Lovely name there, by the way, getting in on there. One of the things that I see from there, though, first time I see a reference to Blue Cap. And Matt's, that's hats off to you for actually bringing Blue Cap into the conversation. I've never seen that card personally be very good, but I can see now how useful it will be with next set.
Yeah, everybody hating on Blue Cap. No offense, Blue, but it is your card, so we had to give it some hate for at least one full season.
That's right.
But
as we said, the only good thing about Blue Cap, we did this in our reveal. The only thing about Blue Cap was Blue's video. But now they're making some
it was
use
the
of
only
it.
good thing about it. But yeah, it's a good point because it goes to show that I'm just focused on this current season, right? Like I'm very interested to see what set 5 is going to look like in terms of like how the cards are going to interact, because we can speculate all day long. But until we actually get the cards and we start playing and doing testing, you're never going to know, unless you're Crazed Ape, apparently, because apparently all he's been doing is just looking at these cards and just being like, this is how I'm going to play Mats. But it's so interesting because like I don't care. All I care about is winning and beating Sigismar. And that's it. with what I have right now. So I forget that Mark and like all these other people, they're playing Altered and 40 just be like, okay, what is the best way that this card is gonna screw you over? And I'm just like, how do I advance? How do I move the plastic on the cardboard?
Yeah, the thing, the one only rare that I was looking forward to see on the watch list is the Ascended Trooper, but it's just shining for one patch. But that card, the
Yeah.
rare, is so good.
It's such
From
a
reserve as well.
Okay, I want to get
It is
everybody's
up
opinion
there.
on this, and I wish I could do a poll with this system, but it won't let me. Chili and I made a comment, and the episode hasn't gone up yet because timing and I have a family. So we have a very controversial opinion, and I want to know what everybody else thinks. Chili and I both said that Set Force Skybound Odyssey is hands down in terms of overall cards the best set that has come out ever.
Yeah.
Like even
Outside
over
of-
For sure.
PGA or Beyond the
No
Gates.
I
question.
said outside because you need all the staples that are there. But I think its impact to the meta, nothing has beat it.
Yeah, but here's what I was saying. I was like, in terms of overall card usage, it's Skybound Odyssey. But in terms of uniques, it's Beyond the Gates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a pet theory about that, in that I sense, or at least I get the feeling that Equinox looked at how everyone leans so hard into Beyond the Gates, and then when we get to set 4, they were like, we gotta just make something that makes them forget Beyond the Gates. Stop thinking about that set. Think about this one, please.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, stop looking
it was
back
so
to the
good.
sand. Time to look
it's
forward.
it's an excellent set. It's really
love
really good,
this
and it's
set.
a real shame that it struggled to get as much notice because of the way that things shifted for seeds.
Good game found.
Yeah.
I desperately want a tumult, and I really want to see some focus on Sky. It's such a good set.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%
Agreed.
agree with that.
Anyway,
Mark, anything else before we transition to the last of all the factions?
We're transitioning, but he can say
I
what
like
he
all
wants.
this. I like things more. I like to play my Sandmans, guys. Please let me play my
Get outta
Sandmans
here.
while they're still
Yeah, your unique Sandmans
available.
are fun.
get out of here.
Yeah,
No.
Ortis is gonna cry super hard as soon as Beyond the Gates goes away, and I'm very excited to see Ortis cry.
So let me
But
qualify
maybe the
just
thing
very
is-
briefly. Oh yeah, go on.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Kyle? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I get a lot of hate from people because I dislike Ortis intensely. However, the more that I've looked at covered these cards, it really is that I dislike Sig intensely.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of play, and I've actually, as I've been playing Singleton a lot lately, I picked up Goreng as a Singleton, and Goreng's fun to play
Goreng
in Singleton.
rules.
And I'm really enjoying it, and I'm realizing like, oh, it's not Ortis. Ortis isn't the problem. It's Sig.
Yeah.
It's that guy.
Yeah, it's the blonde-haired,
think Sig is more
blue-eyed
is-
white guy that's coming out of Asgartha. That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe we talked about a little bit about rotation and stuff. I think you cannot remove set 1 without set 2 and 3 because those
Yeah.
3 sets are so interwoven with each other, and the
Yeah.
heroes they support. It's a little bit weird for an outside deck without set 1 because
Yeah.
you cannot do anything with it anymore.
I can
Where
see
all
You
my
have a
Jin's
ramp
gonna go?
Every other set, you've got one card that ramps each other set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
No.
Yeah.
But
It's so
you
sad.
can get rid of all the double ramps. Now, one thing with that though is like if that is the plan is to wait for set 2 or 3 rotation, then we are really waiting to set 10 before there's that
Yeah.
rotation. My question
Yeah.
with that is, would it be better for the community to keep having those there and get a lot of people frustrated, or keep them there and keep the very few elite players and those that have the elite cards happy? My whole thing is, how do you spread the love?
Yeah.
Here's what I think might happen, right? Because you have to introduce rotation somehow, right? Even if it's with a new set. So what I think
Now-
might happen is that they might have a set called like Return to Asgartha or something that
Oh,
shows
yeah,
the progression of the characters in the lore, but functionally and mechanically they're basically the same cards. Maybe with like one thing changed, right? So
They're not sure.
that would be my
The
guess.
other way of doing it
I'm
is
into the idea.
you use more of your banning and your suspensions to get rid of the troublesome cards.
Yeah,
and troublesome
True,
uniques.
yeah.
You don't have to actually do a full set rotation and wait a year or 2 years.
Yeah. because you have to
But
think
we're
because like
reluctant
that's
to
the
do that
unique part
because
about
of
this
the
game
communities.
is that you have to think
Yeah.
about how the lore interacts with why the cards are getting removed, right? Which is so interesting. Like Yoshi's a god, and we all know this, but it's just like what is in his brain to be like, this is what happens. How do we translate that into game mechanics?
Yeah.
So
Look,
anyway,
Yake's coming out with a hot take here. He says ban the heroes as well while you're at it. So there
yes,
you go.
100%. We've been saying this for 3 sets now.
Now, Nick
Anyway.
and I, no, and as well as well, the one thing that I have said constantly, and there's others in the community that have said it as well. It'd be great that at the end of every year, the best performing hero of each faction goes away. That's my thought. Kyle, it looks like you've got something you want to say.
I'm interested in that idea. I could be convinced, I guess.
it's the fab.
Yeah, I could be convinced of that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, let's
that
talk about
also means
Izmir.
that I would
Izmir's
lose
getting
Kojo, but
yeah,
Izmir,
that's true.
Which, if you look back at set 1 and set 2, never would you think that they would be the least represented faction.
Yeah.
But
well, here we are.
It's a wonderful time. It's wonderful.
Well, here's the thing.
I hated Avanas so much, and then there was also the things that Runefork is now running. Oh man, they're going. If you want to see me tilt, play Izmir.
Oh,
I so hate that
funniest
faction.
part is that Mark says that he's a Bravos main, but the problem is that whenever I talk to him, I always think that he's Izmir. So I don't know what his problem is.
man, they
But
made
why?
a card that looks
Because
like
you're a
him.
brainiac.
Like, how can he?
You're the encyclopedia. Mark is the tinkerer. You know
Okay.
everything about this game, I feel like. I feel like he could name me off one unique just randomly and we'd find it on like Altered or something. I feel like he could do that.
We got to do
Okay,
a game.
I
show
wanna-
and have
I wanna
him,
go into these comments
name
very
that card
briefly.
and have him
Yeah.
be part of it. And that's
Just because I need to
All right,
keep us
Izmir,
moving.
off you
I'm
go.
trying
Yeah, so
so
we
hard,
got to keep
everyone.
this moving.
All right, off you go. Studious Disciple, Tooth Fairy, all makes sense. All cheap cards.
No
major
same for
changes.
the rares. Everything is cheap.
Yeah, no major changes for commons. I want to mention that Off You Go is great in that it stays there, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere just because it's also a Moyo card now. And I think that's very funny and fun for Izmir.
Yeah,
great
100%.
for them. So happy for you guys. I mean that in the way of it's really fun when you can change the things up a little bit and redefine an older card. To make
I
it
agree with that.
interesting in a different way. Among those rares, obviously Baba Yaga is not going anywhere. Beauty Sleep has that's right, crazy name. Beauty Sleep has not changed places often, or I'm sorry, Beauty Sleep and Magical Training had dropped away a little bit as we lost Faunus as a major threat, but have shown up again in the last couple months after Whispers. They both fell off the top 3 for a little while, but then worked their way back up. Obviously, Akesha is over there going, yeah, I'll use these. Why are you guys throwing away these cards? What are you
Yep.
talking about? These are perfect for her.
See-
and she is beyond Moyo, the only other Izmir who's getting a lot of play. Linway is around, is also there. But Afanas is down very close to my sub 1% club at this point.
Yeah.
It's tough.
The student
It's
has
tough to be
become the
Afanas right
master. Akesha has overtaken the old man.
now. Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I don't think it's exactly like that, but you know, that's the analogy that's in my head.
Well, and again, here's something I want to go back to. An interesting thing that Moyo does in reframing a couple of these cards, you'll notice that none of these are Sky cards either.
Yeah, they're all set
So-
1 cards.
Yeah. Among the commons, Caladrius is the top Sky card in December.
Yep. So good.
I told you guys.
It's a fun card. And
It's
then
all because of
among-
us. We changed the meta, Chili. Good job. High five.
You did it. Does anyone want to take a guess as to what the top Sky rare is for Izmir in December?
Skybound Odyssey.
You've all seen this
Sua?
card. I guarantee it. What's that?
It's not Skybound Odyssey
Sua?
because it's not
Is it
even
Shiva?
Izmir.
It's Mark's got it. It's Sua. Yeah, of course Sua is out
Oh
there.
hell
just
yes, it is. Sorry, I
just
shouldn't swear. Mom.
destroying-
So Suha's fantastic.
So,
And then
so
outside
good.
of Suho, where's Shiva? Because Shiva's good. Is that Shiva the new one?
Yeah, the one that
goodness.
destroys the permanent.
Let's see.
Deity?
I got bad news. Shiva
Not even in
doesn't
the
show
top
up in the
10.
top
Destroys
10.
Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised. And the reason why I'm surprised is I think that it's a character that gives you the spell benefit. Like, that. I think it's very useful.
Yeah, we've
but,
talked about this.
Maybe not everybody
Yeah.
thinks the same as me.
Yeah.
Well, it's apparently not getting enough play that it's in the top 10. It's not even beyond. Helping Hand is outpacing it, is what I'll say.
Yeah, I believe that.
So-
And one thing coming in
Here's-
from a guy trying is magical training. We're starting to see a shift in terms of the common also being used, so you're not using the rare slot. So very
That's
good
true.
insight there.
Ooh,
Thank you
that's a
very
good
much.
point. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you still get the double draw rather
right.
than. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, at least for Afanas.
So now we can transition a little bit to the main purpose of this call and this discussion, and in terms of what happened with the mid-season patch for Skybound Odyssey, and the quick answer is nothing. Nothing was added in terms of changes to the actual meta itself, but a number of changes did occur in terms of the watch list. And I don't know if either of you wants to pull up the article and then we can start working through that.
I
But
got it.
the first thing that I wanted to say is they've now reintroduced a hero on the watch list, and I think that's probably the greatest news, and that is Sigma. Basically saying that the changes that they've made to Sigismar's cards have not really impacted his ability to be top of the meta, and they're looking at something else. So basically giving us a forewarning that something untoward may happen to Sigismar in the same way that it happened to Waru, or that they will... And I do hope, if they do make changes, we've talked a little bit previously in terms of ways they can make the change, but I do like the idea of them being much more forthcoming with potential changes. I just wish changes would occur.
I
Also, Traced is also on the watch list.
Yes, I was.
Thank
just
you
gonna
very much.
mention.
And then
Yeah.
I was talking. Thank you. And Traced as well, Dr. Frankenstein, the Grem's Rare, also there on that list as well.
I want to say that it is correct that this patch did not cause a lot of changes. However, it is about 10 different called shots, multiple warning shots across this patch. And I really enjoy the fact that it really looks like the team was looking at this and just going like, yep, okay, yeah, we got it. Okay, yep, we got seeds moving. Let's go. Let's actually do some changes here, because you can feel the pressure that they've been under, watching Sigismar apply pressure the way he has, and also the way that Traced has been ascendant, even in how they dealt with bug fix, right? Even though that card really only, it was reliant on a unique cycle to make it that dangerous. But you could absolutely feel the pressure that they've been under this whole time, and finally with seeds coming along, they can finally say like, we got to do some things here.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting to me in the way that I see the patches, guys, is I would prefer that the start of season patch is your big patch, lots more movements, and then your mid-season patch should just be slight amendments if the things aren't actually in line with what their expectations are. That way you have a full season as closely related to each other as possible. So I wasn't too sad about there being no change,
Yeah.
but I don't want that to be the case in a month's time.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, I think that what they show with the watch list is that they, for me at least, I think they are looking at the right things. They're not just listen to the angry community with a ban hunger or something, but they are actually looking into the things that they think that are problematic. And I know myself and a few other people I talk to a lot also find exactly these cards problematic. Tiny Jin, Grams, and Dr. Frankenstein. Syringa, okay, I don't think that is a big problem, but if you have things like Rage, this card can, Syringa 5/3/3 withdraw a card, turn one, it's maybe not what you want to see, but I think they have a really good feeling for what are the problematic cards at the moment.
Yeah, and just one other thing that came from Guy trying again. Thank you for he's almost like a ghost in this conversation. Another reason why the patch didn't actually impact a lot is because we didn't have a tumult season that was a anything competitive to really make the need for it. I also think the Grems both. The good thing is it's both the common and the rare. They're looking at it. And the Grems in all factions, not just we normally talk about it in Axiom, but it's in all factions and all rarities that has been looked at. Was there anything that's missing, Kyle? Maybe I'll start with you. What do you think is missing on the watch list that you would look into outside of the hunger? I know the hunger is probably going to be your first call, but outside of the hunger, otherwise we're going to get stuck in this conversation for about 2 hours.
Yeah, I could talk about that for hours.
I think this is the one case that I would have to say that Kyle is wrong. Normally, Kyle and I are on the same wavelength for a lot of things. The one case that he's wrong.
Yeah, well, I gotta put forth my viewpoints, right?
That's fair.
Let's see. I really, honestly, outside of, I do think they made a lot of the right picks as far as here are the pain points. And I mean, Tiny Gen is an issue. It is part of the reason that Bravos as a group and not just one hero is so prevalent right now. I can't think of anything that jumps out at me as this card needs to be removed or edited right now. Other than what we're seeing here. In fact, I'd even say I sort of agree with Marc on Saringer. Like, I think you're kind of getting caught in the crossfire a little bit, but still, it wouldn't be the worst thing to see that card changed a little bit as well.
Change it from 3 to 2.
Not bad at all. What about you?
Yeah, if you made it a 1/1/1, actually, as much as I want that 3/1/1 for Bravos. If you made it a 1/1/1, that would feel more in line with also this is a magical training.
See, I don't think so. Because I think they made the right decision with doing the errata on Aphanis. Because Aphanis was the problem. Magical training by itself is fine. And especially in the rare, fine. Yeah. It is a fine card. It's fine in the common. The issue was the interactions that you were seeing with the heroes. And I think that's the main issue that I'm having with stuff like Dr. Frankenstein, stuff with like the Grems, stuff with Tiny... I mean, Tiny Gen and Siren Guard, those are just great cards. And that's why you're seeing such a huge rocket to the moon with Bravos. Because of those cards. I feel like the interactions with Frankenstein and the Grems with Traced is the issue.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Nick, to build off of that, because you are exactly right. Yeah, I do think you're correct on that. As you mentioned that, you asked what card is not on this list that should be on this list. It's Restocking Station. That card needs changed. Either its mana cost needs to go up, or it needs to not have an arrow on it. If you have that same card and it does not have an arrow on it, it's a lot less dangerous.
Yeah, I like the idea of not having the arrow. The cost is good, and that means it doesn't get the pump up like other cards get, like through Dr. Frankenstein. And maybe they're trying to address it through Dr. Frankenstein there. Interesting.
Putting it in...
Go ahead.
Just very briefly, putting it also into Bravos, I would also edit it in Bravos as well. Listen, again, as a Bravos, I think it's great, and I love having it. It shouldn't be in Bravos. We get so much strength out of Haven. We get so much strength out of our cards from Reserve. Having it there is, that's a powerful one drop. Yeah.
Yeah,
this card is also an anti-hunger card, right? You can just remove the feeding from the hunger, and it's like, 100%. I will still go 1/1.
Yeah. Bringing back the conversation full circle to something we said earlier. We said, one of the things with Bravos is they can basically do anything and everything. And I think one of the things they should actually have less access to is the ability to draw. They should have very few cards, if any, to allow them to draw, because their way of doing it is through resupply. They've got the ability of resupplying. Now, when you give them the choice of everything, then it makes it very difficult. That is why they are represented over 25% of the meta across all their heroes. Now, would they do that? Can they make a change? Absolutely. They've shown that they can. This is the game where you can make changes and not impact cards. Like, because most of the game is played digitally, and you can then reprint your card at a nominal cost. It's not a bad thing. Now, the other thing that I wanted to go here is, you know, I look at... I'm going to put my parts in, and then I get Marc and Nick. You never really talked about some additional cards you wanted. For me, what's missing is the unique elements that are causing frustration in the game. And the reason I want to say this is because I want more players to be drawn to the game. And I think the busted uniques, as some people call them, makes it very difficult to have an actually enjoyable experience when you play against those decks that basically say, got no chance. Right? And I think... And I'm not saying get rid of all uniques, but there's a lot of the when uniques. And most of you that have played the game know what I'm talking about. That it's not a static one-off ability, one-off change. It gives it to you for multiple times. I am a huge proponent of getting rid, and Marc, you and I have had this conversation, getting rid of the double uniques, double what are they called? Double ramp uniques. I would say the same for the double draw uniques. You know, and this is going to get root folk a little bit upset on that.
Stop.
But more, how do you make a unique have a gain, but not so much of a gain that it becomes untenable for your opponent to play against it? It should be marginal gains. Anyway, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
So
You're right.
I'm looking at the I'm going for the multi-anchored. For Sigismar and for the rest of Ordis, I'm going for the multi-draw. I'm going for the multi-token spawns that give you the wins. To make it much more appealing for people to join and play the game. And in doing that, I think you're going to get some of the other heroes that are less represented to come up the chain too.
Yeah.
And from a guy trying, he just wants to target Marc's uniques, but nobody else's.
Here's what I would say. This is the hardest part of running a card game that has such, and I'm gonna say it, that has such a unique element to it, right? The hardest part is that you want every player, hopefully, to have at least one unique that costs at least $50 or more. And what that usually means is that it has two effects on it that synergize extremely well with it, right? The hardest part is making sure that everybody gets that, right? So I feel like the way to do that is to level the playing field by making sure that everybody has a unique like that. The hardest part is doing that, right? Because I'm not going to lie, there are some uniques from like set 2, set 3, even set 4. One of our friends just pulled a unique. It's got a double rush effect on it that draws and gives boosts.
Amazing.
And you're just like, but what is this kind of card? But the thing is that it's rush, but it's a Bravos card. It's insane. It's a Tengu. And
The Tengu, yeah.
And everybody knows this. Tengu's one of my favorite cards in this set. I love the artwork, I love the card, I love the cost. The whole, like the entire set of that card, common, rare, unique, beautiful, perfect card. People would argue that card needs to be like, something needs to happen with that. And I think that everybody just needs, I hate that I have to say it like this, but it's kind of like communism. If you level the playing field by giving it to everybody, the problem goes away.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Part of the unique, it would just make them much easier to get. And I've done a job with the algorithm. And honestly, the way that I look at especially set 4 uniques, while they may seem busted to some people, I think they're pretty good. They're very strong. Yeah. But they make sense. They're not as unconditional as we saw a lot of the set 1 busted uniques. Anyway, that's it for me. Nick, anything else that you had in terms of something that you'd add to the watch list before Marc closes us off today?
Honestly, not really. Like, I mean, restocking station's kind of a problem, but traced and everything that Axiom does with landmarks is a problem anyway, right? Like, they're cycling and searching for, brass bug hive, and then they're just gonna bully you with brass bug hive. They're just going to throw brass bugs at you until you cry. So, Restocking Station, honestly, I feel like the problem with Restocking Station is that it's kind of like it's a placeholder until you get your brass bug hives, right? You're hoping that you're cycling through and keeping like a level playing field until you get your brass bug hives. So, like, I understand why Restocking Station isn't on the list. It's a problem, though. It is a very, very real problem. Because if you're just cycling through and keeping anything that has, like, activating permanents or even, like, the free... because it's Frankenstein. The problem is Frankenstein. Because, technically speaking, somebody made a point that's like, Bravos can't abuse this. They can't abuse Restocking Station like Axiom can. Because there aren't that many cards that's like, oh, I can hit myself and be net positive, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what Frankenstein
I think they
does.
can, but it's the rare common slot. If this was a common Restocking Station in Bravos, I would run it everywhere.
I mean, yeah, you're not
really,
wrong.
I really loved what you said, though. Like, if you just remove the arrow. And reason why I say that's really cool is then it forces people to change the composition of the deck. So if they do want to increase this, they're going to have to play, what's Abby?
Yeah,
Abby will allow you to get
Or
extra.
Yeah,
Snap
here, hold
Sniffer.
on.
But it
Where's this?
changes the composition.
Where is it? Hold on. This guy. If Restocking Station only gained one counter, it'd be more interesting, so Frankenstein would go from net neutral and not give more counters and give you more of a reason to use Augment.
Yeah.
The other reason that I agree with that is because that then also makes it a helping hand in terms of its mana cost.
Yeah.
One cost, I remove Fleeting. That's what it does, and I think that's the right. I think that would be a great way to approach it.
Yeah. So I think I don't think the card is the problem. I think the interaction is the problem. So
It's also one of the only things keeping Subash alive right now. Is what I will say.
yeah, exactly. Why would we kill Subash, our great boy?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
You know, I constantly talk about Flesh and Blood because that's the other game that I've played. But I'll say one of the cool things they do is they have cards that are specifically only allowed to be played by a specific hero. And maybe that's something we have to introduce or something like that in future sets to basically say, no, Trace, you don't get this. But
Just middle finger Trace and Sigismar. I'm fine with it.
Ultimately, you know, the rich keep getting richer unless they do something along those lines that is very targeted to other heroes and a detriment to these heroes.
Yeah.
Mark,
That's fair.
what are your final thoughts in terms of what is missing?
I already talked about the Ascended Trooper. Two other cards I'm missing is the Ouroboros Lyra Bastion for Axiom, the Arrow Resupply, and if I would resupply, instead refill the top two cards of your deck, put one in reserve and discard the other. That card is not good for the game. Being able to recycle deck over and over again without any punishment is not what you want to see. All your uniques, you can do stuff. You run common Gibbles just to activate the resupply of the Ouroboros itself. So either remove the resupply of the Ouroboros, remove it instead, or just say as soon as you are reshuffling your deck, shuffle it, put the top 5 cards away. They don't do play anymore in this game. They're just banished from this current game. And every time you are reshuffling, you banish 5 more cards, and then well we're done with that stuff, because I really don't like that card. And always you have bug fix is now run away, but you still have plenty of misuses of that Bastion card.
Yeah, I do like the idea of reducing the deck size every time you go cycle through it. So therefore you can deck out. It's just a different way of decking out. I don't mind that idea. I think I'm looking forward to seeing how Equinox explores that in future sets, if that is a plan for
They
them.
have to. I'm
And the
in
other-
full agreement with Mark on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other card I want to be banned really quickly is Celebration Day, and specifically the rare, where both expeditions can move forward. As soon as you're getting that state where Runefolk is master of, you locked out
No,
of
it's
the
fine.
game.
Don't worry about it.
That it's
Everything's
not
fine.
fun.
Yeah, but
That's
I'll also
not
say,
fun.
like, Runefolk is usually playing that on decks that have got no other chance to win, unless it's that type of engagement.
But that's
I forgot
also
we're
a
on.
problem.
Oops.
is the thing,
Yeah.
right? Like,
There's no other way of winning. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, and I
You
completely
instantly
get
lose
it,
to
but I actually
festival,
think,
but
you know, I think the hostage style. I love alternate win conditions, and I consider the hostage style an alternate win condition. But it can't be something you can't engage with. Going back full circle to what we said earlier, is you should be able to engage. It shouldn't be a spell. It should be a permanent. That then, if you can get rid of it, like you have a chance to get rid of it.
Yeah, or again, if you reshuffle your deck,
What is
put the
this?
5 cards or top 3 cards away from your deck, and then probably your celebration days will be hit somewhere, or your small step giant leaf, and you in the win condition is completely gone. I'm also fine with that.
Yeah, I hear you when you say that hostage style is a valid like style of play. I disagree. Or a valid like win condition. I just don't agree. I think it's a bad player experience, and I think it's
an absolutely
even,
awful player experience.
Even as the person playing it, you have to feel so much stress in the setup of the trap. Like it can't be fun to play either. At least.
Well, that's because you're not chaotic, like pure, like chaotic
Oh,
evil.
okay, all right.
That's why. Your alignment
feels a
is
little bit
very
like
different
Atari,
from the people
to be
who play
honest.
that.
That's fair.
But
Yeah.
with Atari, you have
You
the
know-
same thing. You are working against the clock, and as soon as
True,
you have enough more mana, you will win the game, no matter what. Unless you
Yeah,
run
and
into
this is-
Izmir with Blizzard. But
Yeah, and this is why Yakes' comment is really important as well. Like, these fast decks are what help the slow decks be kept in check.
That's true.
Right.
Mhm.
If you don't have Sigismar, if you don't have Kojo, then your really slow decks can absolutely destroy you and hostage you into a submission.
Yeah.
And some of the players, and talking to Runefolk, he's part of my team, right? He's basically saying, "Well, I'll just keep playing until you quit. I'll just keep going. I don't mind. I can keep pressing. I can keep pressing next. If you're willing to play this game, I'll play this game that way too." And that's just not a fun experience for everyone. Now, I'll say virtually it happens more than it would in person. I think in person there is a different way of playing. You cannot play that way purely for the not just the schematics, is that you may run out of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the other players will not play at your table.
Yeah.
That's true.
They just won't sit down when they see that the Izmir deck in front of you. Are like, oh, I'm good actually.
Yeah.
Hey, well, look at the time. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Would you look at that?
Well, on that, Marc, Kyle, it is an absolute pleasure to have you back again. We're looking forward to doing this as we get into Seeds of Unity. It's going to be fantastic. Notice I didn't say agony this time. But Nick, is there anything you want to say before we close up and give Kyle and Marc a chance to plug their channels and the things that they're currently working on? Wow. That just reminded me of the... No, you know what it reminded me of, Nick? It's like I'm watching The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, and is that little... What? Is it a yak?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There you
Look.
go. There you go, Nick the Yak. So if we were to name the Woollyback token, you might have the new name, Nick.
Yeah.
So
Let me put it to you this way.
you go.
You guys haven't heard this yet. I'm going into this year extremely jaded and extremely just like everything is going to burn to the ground. So that's why I did that. It's because my general outlook on the state of my like worldview is just that. So, but that being said, though, Trickster's going to hate me for saying this, and he can hate me till the day I die. This set is going to have some of the best art in it, and that's what I'm here for. Like this card. The reason why I have this card on here is because of this, right? Is because Mochizuki Chiyome is one of the best-looking cards that I've seen in Izmir since Kurakami. This is
Who is
such
Mochizuki?
Mochizuki Chiyome is a Japanese character. I can do a quick little Mochizuki Chiyome. So
She's a Japanese poet and noblewoman, and she was leading a
Yeah.
set of female ninjas.
yeah,
That's cool.
Takeda
Oh,
clan.
There you go.
So
Wow. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
so like I'm waiting for the day. If this, and here's the thing, again, being very jaded here, you're gonna have to understand this. If this game blows itself up, fine. All I want to know is if Musashi is. I want to know if he's one of the 7 blades. That's all I care about. If Musashi is not one of the 7 blades, I'm just. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life.
It feels right though.
It does.
Nick, Nick, we got to get the Muna group hug style really set up so that we can just give you a group hug right now.
Yeah, right.
to
Just
help you
we
out.
need to play a 4v4, a 2v2 game right now, and everybody needs to play Muna group hug. So,
Now,
but yeah, no, I think
yeah, no, well, I'll give
think
you
it's gonna be a
real
good
hug
set.
when we catch up later tonight. So
yeah, I think set 5 is going to be really good. I think it's going to be a good litmus test to see how the rest of the year is going to go. So I'm very excited to see it because they're introducing new things. They're introducing new states to the meta. They're introducing new things to the actual organized play for worlds, for everything. So I'm optimistic.
in organized play. Yes.
Yeah, I'm optimistic, but that optimism is on a very, very thin layer of ice. So,
All right.
we'll see what happens.
Well, all right, Kyle. Anything you want to plug?
I would love to plug the blog, obviously.
Always.
We're kicking back off for the start of the year. We were taking a little bit of a break during December. I've got these snapshots coming soon, and we've got a bunch of other fun things happening as well. One of which being we have a contest going currently where you can name a woolly back, and possibly win an alternate art woolly back token.
I
We've
put
already
some
got some
names in
really
there.
great. What's that?
Bleatrist.
I put some in here.
Bleatrist
that
is
I
a
put.
great name.
There are some great. I mean, I would encourage you to just look at the comments anyway. The only time in my life I'll ever tell anyone to look in the comments, do it. We have some
Bullied
great
back?
names in there,
That's
and
really
add your own.
good.
You've got roughly about 6 days to get in there, to get in the comments and name a sheep and possibly win
Yeah.
a sheep.
See,
Which is
I
we
put
did the same thing.
mistletoes. I did Hufflepuff. Come on, because we all believe in Cedric. Come on, Cedric Diggity. Come on.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. But that's what I got.
Nice.
I'm just
Because
happy to be
Cowrie
here.
and Puff,
How y'all?
you're a genius.
There's some good
Anyway.
ones. All right.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what
anyway.
about Mark? Mark, on your end, what are you working on at the moment as we transition to the new year?
Hopefully soon my Mojo deck guide will come up on my own channel, TheBravosHatter. Of course, the AlteredTCG we will try and get a little bit more competitive deck list. And Kyle also started a series with deck lists that are of heroes that aren't really played that much. So we will try to get some things off. If you subscribe, find my channel about the Lyra Festival deck. Put a comment in there. You can also win a woolly bag. So yeah.
Where is
Nice.
it? I'm not
That's
seeing it.
quite
I'm not seeing
Oh,
it.
go to
It's his
Oh,
last
there.
video.
yes, the first one.
Oh, this one.
You should
yes.
be there.
You should be in. Anyway,
And,
don't worry about me.
On my end, on the Heroes Guide to Asgartha YouTube channel, we are also running a second of the promotion. So Nick has done one already, and those prizes have been also requested. So the winners have been announced already. On my end, we are doing. Tell me what we could do to improve the viability of some of the worst performing, as I called it, bottom tier heroes. So if you give me anything for Sigismar, you will not be in the running, but everyone else. Tonight, we're actually going to be voting on that at our local. We're going to be using the tally method. There is over 30 entries that we've got in terms of different ideas, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out from that. We've heard some really cool things, and we hope to be able to present this to the dev team, saying, hey, these are some thoughts from the community. I hope that some of them are part of your plans. If not, consider them.
Yeah, look at that. Great artwork by Marc, Gnome School. What a great guy.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah. Everybody go show Gnome School some love in the Discord. So
Absolutely.
Also, while we're giving credits, just very briefly, I want to say thank you again to Pollux for all of the stats that you've supplied there, and obviously to like 39 cards. It's the only way that I have any of that data that I was sharing earlier. Thank you so much for that help.
see, and you guys think I'm not prepared. I've got all of these already opened in tabs. So I've got. I'm not even kidding. I have Altered Blog and 39 cards, just open tabs, just
Incredible.
eating up RAM space.
Ready to go.
Heck yeah.
Well,
So
thank you all. And Nick, once again, thank you for being the pilot for today. So I appreciate it.
I am the moderator. That is my title. So
Thanks
everybody,
for
thank you so
having us.
much. Yeah. So everybody, thank you so much. thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you live, you are our biggest fans, apparently. So thank you so much for supporting us. We have a lot planned. The episode will probably go up tomorrow that we have, talking about like kind of some plans that we have going on. You've heard us all throughout November and December talking about like what we have planned for 2026. Hopefully we can stay on track. That is my, again, these are supposed to last an hour. We're at an hour and 45, so that shows you how good we are at staying on track. So,
That's fun.
but yeah, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who participated in this, and we will absolutely see you on the next one. Maybe not with Kyle and Mark, but Chili and I will see you on the next one.
Hasta luego.
Ciao.